Okay, great. So we have discussed about what is cloud computing and what are the characteristics of cloud computing. Now let's discuss about different types of cloud services. Very important topic. If you see any exam in which they specify cloud computing, so 101% there will be a one question from this particular cloud services. So you can see we have three services: infrastructure as a service, second one is platform as a service, and third one is software as a service. Now who is providing this particular services? That is basically a cloud providers. Okay. So we have Amazon cloud providers here, right? For example, AWS by Amazon, we have Azure by Microsoft, we have Google cloud providers here, right? So they are providing you infrastructure as a service. So these cloud providers are providing you a complete infrastructure. Let's say for example, here you have a unfurnished flat, okay? You have taken the unfurnished flat on rent, okay? Unfurnished flat. Now here you are going to decide where to keep sofa, where to keep cupboard, how the bed direction will be, all these things, right? So it's a responsibility of the users, I can say, okay? But they are just providing you the infrastructure, that is basically unfurnished flat. So you are responsible for most of the task here, okay? Now what is platform as a service? Platform as a service means what? It's a furnished flat here. Furnished flat, okay? So here sofa is already there, cupboard is already there, bed is already there. Let's say for example 6 by 5 bed is there. So here you are not deciding which size bed will be there or which company sofa I am going to use. So this is basically a platform as a service. In the case of unfurnished flat, you will decide, okay, I want this company sofa or I want 7 by 8 a bed here, like this, okay? So that's the example of infrastructure as a service. So cloud providers are providing you a complete infrastructure. Platform is what? One of the platform are basically providing you a service here, okay? So platform as a service, so you can say furnished flat here. Now what is software as a service? Software as a service, so ready to use software. So we are saying ready to use software, okay? So in this case you can consider the hotel room here, okay? In this case you can consider the hotel room. Everything is perfect here, you just need to use that particular room, that's it. So that is basically a software as a service. So always remember this example: unfurnished flat, infrastructure as a service; furnished flat, platform as a service; hotel room, software as a service here, okay? Because if you see the responsibility, I am talking about responsibility of users or customers, we can say, okay? If we are the users of these cloud services, so in the case of unfurnished flat, our responsibility will be more. In the case of furnished flat, our responsibility will be less. In the case of hotel, our responsibility very minimum, okay? Like this. Now if you talk about the examples, okay? So you can see software as a service. So you must have used Google Docs, right? Google Docs are there, or Microsoft Office is there, right? So all these are basically a software as a service, okay? Now what is platform as a service? Let's say for example Google App Engine. Google App Engine is basically a platform as a service. But when I say Google Compute Engine, it is basically a infrastructure as a service. So don't get confused. Google Compute Engine is an infrastructure as a service. Google App Engine is basically platform as a service. So this was one of the question in one of the exam here. Which type of service is this particular Google App Engine, okay? So the answer was platform as a service. It might look that it is infrastructure as a service, but no, Google Compute Engine is basically infrastructure as a service, okay? I hope these examples are clear. So you can see what we have discussed up till now. In infrastructure as a service, the cloud providers give you virtual machines, storage, networking, and the servers here, okay? So they are providing you a complete infrastructure here, you can see. So you manage the operating system, applications, and data. So I will take a compute engine from the cloud providers. Now I will decide which operating system I am going to install here, Linux or Windows, right? What database I am going to use, PostgreSQL or MySQL, right? So all this thing is basically we have to decide in the case of infrastructure as a service. So you can see very important a thing here, examples for different cloud providers. Okay, in the case of AWS, you can see Amazon Web Services. So EC2 basically a server here. It's a part of infrastructure as a service. S3 a storage bucket here, infrastructure as a service. VPC networking here is also part of infrastructure as a service here. In the case of GCP, Google Cloud Compute Engine, Google Cloud Storage here, and Google Cloud VPC is basically a, we can say, infrastructure as a service. Now see, Google Cloud Storage. So this is basically a infrastructure as a service because you are using a storage here. Now you are going to decide which type of file you are going to put, what's the storage size here, all these things here. Okay, what's the users and the permissions here, or which type of access you have to give. So all this thing you have to decide here in the case of infrastructure as a service. Now you can see in the case of Azure, Microsoft Azure virtual machines, blob storage, virtual network are part of infrastructure as a service here. Okay, I hope this thing is clear. Now what about platform as a service? So in PaaS, you can see the provider gives you a complete platform to build, run and deploy the applications here. So your focus is basically on the coding part. So for example, you can see Elastic Beanstalk, again very important thing. So if they ask which type of the service is basically AWS Elastic Beanstalk, it is basically what? Platform as a service. AWS Lambda serverless is also a platform as a service. Very important point to remember, right? The question has been asked based on this AWS Lambda, I guess. In the case of SEBI or I don't know, IBPS exam, they have asked the question based on the AWS Lambda serverless here. Okay. What about a GCP? Google Cloud App Engine? Yes, what we have discussed is basically a platform as a service. Then Google Cloud Functions is basically a platform as a service. In the case of Azure, it is basically app services and Azure functions. Okay, so please take a note of all these things. Anyway, we are going to add all these things in the notes. You can just go through that. Okay. Now here we have software as a service. In software as a service, users directly use ready-made softwares over the internet. For example, Google Docs or Microsoft Office are the example of software as a service, or any CRM here or any LMS here is basically what? Software as a service. So no installation is required, no maintenance is required. So you can see the examples here: Amazon QuickSight, Amazon Team. In the case of Google ecosystem, you can see Google Docs, Gmail, Google Meet. All these are basically a software as a service. Okay. So you can expect a question based on this: which type of service is this Gmail or Google Meet, right? It's a software as a service. In the case of Microsoft ecosystem, you can see Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, Outlook. All these are basically what? Software as a service. Okay. So I hope the difference is clear between infrastructure, platform and software. Okay. So what we have discussed, I guess this is clear to everyone now. Now you can see this particular diagram here, right? So it represents what? Control. Okay. So if you take infrastructure as a service, so basically we require IT administrator for that. So which type of operating system I have to install, which type of database I am going to use, which type of storage system I am going to use. So all these things are, we have to decide. Okay. So it's a role of IT administrator, and you can see here we have a more control. More control means what? More responsibility is on us. If I go for infrastructure as a service, so we have a more control as well as we have a more responsibility also, right? Then we have platform as a service. Here you can see software developers use this platform, right? And here we have a medium control, and also the responsibility is also medium here, we can say. Okay. And at the last we have software as a service, so we have less control on the computing power, we can say, our servers. So this is basically for end users. So like we use the Google Meet or Google Docs, we don't care about at the back end how these things are working, right? We simply use a particular software, that's it. So here we have a less control on the type of software we are going to use. For example, Google Form. Okay. So we can upload up to 1 GB file only in the Google Form. So we don't have a control over this particular size. I cannot change this particular size here. But if I go for infrastructure as a service, I can create my own form. I can increase the limit up to 10 or 100 GB as well. Okay. So in the case of Google Form, I have less control over the computing power. So users can only upload up to 1 GB of file. But if I create my own form using the infrastructure as a service, I can put the limit of 100 GB as well. Okay. So that's the thing here. So here we have less control. Here we have more control. In platform, we have a medium control. But what about responsibility? Responsibility of managing all this will be a different as well. So here we have more responsibility, more control, a medium responsibility, medium control, less responsibility, less control here, like that. Okay. So you can see we have our features, control, then flexibility, setup time, users manage, best for. Okay. So control in the infrastructure we have high, flexibility is high, setup time is more because we have to decide which operating system, which database we are going to use. In the case of platform as a service, you can see medium, medium, less. And in the case of software as a service, you can see low, low, instant here. Okay. What about users manages? So here we have to manage operating system plus apps. Here only the app, and here nothing we have to manage. Best for IT admins, best for developers is basically platform, and for users we have the software as a service here. So what we have just discussed here, same thing is shown in the tabular format here. That's it. Now, what about the responsibility? We have talked about more control, then we have more responsibility, but how? Okay. Now let's discuss about the shared responsibility model in cloud computing. The shared responsibility model is one of the most important concepts in cloud computing. So you can say it explains the what cloud providers is responsible for and what the customers is responsible for. Let's say for example, I have an apartment here. Okay. I have the apartment. So on the first floor, I am staying, and on the top floor I have given on the rent here. Okay. And let's say for example, you are the users, you are using this particular apartment here. Now see here. So when we talk about the security of a complete building, this complete apartment here, it's my responsibility because I am the owner of this particular apartment here. Even I will decide what will be a parking slot here. If you are staying at the top floor, it's my responsibility that this entire apartment is secure. It's my responsibility that you are going to get 24/7 water and electricity, right? It's my responsibility that the lift is in a working condition. Okay. So these all are responsibility of the owners of the apartment here. Electricity, water, lift, parking area, right? But what's your responsibility as a user? Your responsibility is basically what? You have to lock your door, you have to maintain your apartment, you have to clean your apartment, right? You have to use the electricity carefully because we are going to charge you unit wise, right? So you have to focus on the consumption of electricity and water. So all these are basically your responsibility here. It's not the responsibility of the owners, right? So I hope the shared responsibility is clear with the help of these examples. Now you can see here we have something called security of cloud and security in cloud. When we talk about of the cloud security here, so we mean data centers, hardware, networking. So it's a responsible of cloud providers. Okay. When we talk about the security in the cloud, for example, data, users, permissions, setting, it's a responsibility of a customer here. Okay, I hope you understand this particular thing. Now you can see here we have the responsibility versus on-premises, and then here we have the cloud services. So this is very, very important slide. You can see you can expect a question based on this as well. So on-premises means what? It means basically we are using our own infrastructure here. Okay. And here we are using a cloud infrastructure here like this. Okay. Cloud services versus the on-premises here, like what we have discussed in the first lecture. So physical security. So when we talk about the physical security, if we are going for on-premises, it's a customer thing, right? It's our responsibility. But when we talk about infrastructure as a service, PaaS or SaaS, it's a provider's responsibility. Provider means what? Cloud providers. What about hardware? In the case of on-premises, it's a customer responsibility. But in the case of infrastructure here, you can see provider. So you can just remember this particular chart, very, very important. when we talk about on premises here, everything we have to manage. Okay, everything we have to manage because we are dealing with the physical thing here, hardware and the physical security here. Now what about the OS updates? In the case of OS update, in the case of infrastructure as a service, customer have to manage the OS update. Very, very important. If we are using the infrastructure as a service, so customer is responsible for managing the OS update here. In the case of a platform and software, we don't have to worry about that. So provider will take care of this thing. Also runtime. Runtime issue is basically depends on the customer. It's a responsibility of the customer. But for PaaS and SaaS, you can see it's a responsibility of the providers here. Now what about application, data and access control? Now in all these three cases, it's a responsibility of what? Customers. But here you can say in the case of application, it's a responsibility of providers in the case of software as a service, right? So if I am using a Google Doc here, so this application responsibility is basically what? Providers here, right? So you can see, but rest platform as a service or infrastructure as a service, application, data and access control is basically our responsibility, customer responsibility, I can say, right? So like what we have discussed in this particular diagram, I hope this thing is clear now. As we have more control, so our responsibility will be more as well. From this particular table you can see here, right? So I hope you understand the types of cloud services and the shared responsibility model in cloud computing. So this is basically an important topic. Okay. Now why it matters? Why we are discussing about the responsibility part here, right? So understanding the shared responsibility helps in better security planning, compliance, avoiding mistake and correct incident handling here. Okay. So that's it. So you can just go through the slides, or I have given the notes also. You can go through the notes for detail because whatever we have discussed, it's at the conceptual level here. Okay. So which services comes under which category? So that thing we have added in our notes. You can just refer to that. Okay. But I hope you understand what we have discussed in this particular video regarding the types of cloud services and the shared responsibility. Okay. So that's it from my side. Thank you.